Bruce, we're good? Bring the meeting back to order.
Okay, welcome to the Queen Anne's County Commissioners Meeting. This is a public meeting that is being aired live on our local cable television station, QACTV 7. These media broadcasts provide county citizens an opportunity to watch and review our scheduled public meetings. In addition to our live audience this evening, we are providing remote options for citizens to watch and participate in county commissioner meetings. Citizens may watch our meeting live on our website at qac.org/live or on our television channel, Breezeline Channel 7 and High Definition Channel 507. Citizens may also participate by joining the live Zoom meeting by going to qac.org/public comment. Citizens may also email comments to publiccomment@qac.org. Comments received will be summarized during the press and public comment period on tonight's agenda. We acknowledge everyone's participation, and by attending, you acknowledge that this session is both recorded and aired. Press and public comment will be taken and is limited to 3 minutes per person. If you do care to speak, please sign the sheet on the information table in our lobby. Comments longer than 3 minutes can be submitted in writing for the Commissioner's review. I will note that we have a number of public hearings this evening, so please sign up for the appropriate public hearing if you wish to speak for one of those. Our first press and public comment period is for general comments initially. We will now stand and be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by Commission President Jim Moran.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence for the victims of the Maui fires. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioners. We can move and approve tonight's agenda. So our agenda for today's meeting, August 22nd, along with the regular session minutes and the closed session minutes from our August 8th meeting, have all been circulated for review. Do I have any additions or corrections?
Yes, motion to amend the agenda to include one additional action item.
Second.
We have a motion to second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved.
Motion to approve the agenda as amended and minutes as submitted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. So we just completed a closed session under the General Provisions Article Section 3305B7 to consult with counsel, and Article 3-305B1 to discuss personnel and boards and commissions. And I do believe we have one appointment to make on boards and commissions.
Yeah.
I move to appoint Gail Schaefer to fill the vacancy on the Animal Control Commission. This term will expire on December 31st, 2026.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. And one other new position request we discussed this evening.
What do we officially
Do
call
we have
it?
a motion
Yeah.
for it, or?
Yeah, there is a motion there on
Motion to
Move to approve
provide
the new
There
position
you go.
requested for an ERP business analyst to be assigned within Human Resources and Budget and Finance Department.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. That moves us to our first initial general press and public comment period. We appreciate all citizens for taking time to express views to the County Commissioners. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per person. Comments longer than 3 minutes can be submitted in writing. This commission respects your desire and right to convey your message freely. When you come forward, please speak clearly at the standing microphone. Bruce is going to bring that over. State your name, your address, and your topic of interest. And in keeping with the dignity of our office, we ask that all views be expressed in a respectful and civil manner.
Margie?
No one signed up.
Okay. So no one signed up. Would anyone like to speak at this time? Seeing none, we'll close. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. All right.
It's a quick one from Sharon Newsback. Could you please speak on the details of the road closures on the 50 QAC side? That was it.
Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll close press and public comment.
All right. All right, Commissioners, that brings us to our agenda for this evening. So if you want to turn to tab 7, we'll begin with legislative tonight. So the first item is the Comprehensive Water and Sewer Plan Amendment Public Hearing. And I believe Mr. Patrick Thompson, our county attorney, and Director of Public Works, Alan Quimby, are here to officiate this hearing. I'll note that we had a public information meeting on this amendment at our previous meeting.
Ready?
Thompson? Yep.
This is a public hearing being held at 5:35 Tuesday, August 22nd, 2023, in the County Commissioners Meeting Room, Liberty Building, 107 North Liberty Street, Centerville, Maryland. Purpose of the hearing is to consider several amendments to the Queen Anne's County 2011 Comprehensive Water and Sewage Plan. An informational presentation was made on Tuesday, August 8th, also in the Commissioners Meeting Room. Copies of the proposed amendments have been available at the County Commissioner's office or electronically by sending a request at aquimby@qac.org. All hearing sites are accessible to individuals with disabilities. Sign language interpreters, assistive listening devices are available for individuals with hearing impairments. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes each. Written testimony of any length can be submitted prior to the hearing to the Director of Public Works. Persons who wish to comment on the proposed amendments may do so at this hearing. First amendment is the KNSG wastewater treatment plant re-rating. Text amendment reflects an increase in wastewater capacity at the county's sole wastewater treatment plant. The treatment plant, known as the Kenton-Stevensville-Graysonville Treatment Plant, has been tentatively approved by Maryland Department of the Environment to expand its capacity by 10% from 3 million gallons a day to 3.3 million gallons per day via re-rating due to its superior performance with only minor improvements necessary. Are there any public comment with request of that amendment? All right. The second proposed amendment is the sewer and water allocation policy revision. This text amendment is to replace in total the current allocation policy, which is Appendix 1 in the Comprehensive Water and Sewer Plan, to reflect the additional capacity gained by the treatment plant re-rating that was just mentioned. A public comment or request of that amendment. Sure.
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Williams. I'm the Government Affairs Director for the Bay Area Association of Realtors, representing over 300 members who are very active in their communities. We are here to ask for amendments to Section 8E of the Water and Sewer Allocation Policy. The Queen Anne's Comprehensive Plan of 2022 has as its one of its guiding principles to be a good steward to preserve and protect the Chesapeake Bay. Among the 12 visions set forth in that plan are the quality of life and sustainability, a high quality of life through universal stewardship of land, water, and air. Housing, to be able to provide a range of housing options to the citizens, and environmental protection. Chapter 9 of the plan has the overarching goal for housing to encourage and increase the supply of housing of diverse types in the county. And it recognizes a shortage of all types of housing. We believe that by amending 8E, it can assist with meeting these goals. We would like to see it allow transfers of allocations between properties with different owners. Some lots with allocations may not be buildable, or it may simply be undesirable to build upon them. Allowing a transfer of 100% of these allocations will allow other lots in the county to become buildable and thus increase the housing supply in the county. Do not require that the property transferring an allocation retain a minimum of 250 gallons per day allocation. If the property is unbuildable or simply undesirable to build, it does not need any allocation. If the property transferring has a present existing use, that the transferring lot should only have to maintain the minimum gallons per day needed for that current use. Some commercial allocations were established with high GPDs. As the property use has changed over time, they're no longer needed. Allowing a transfer of the unneeded excess capacity will allow additional business or perhaps residential units to be built utilizing those allocations. If the property transferring has a present existing use, require that the transferring lot only maintain the gallons per day allocation required for that particular use. Allowing owners of current allocations to freely transfer their allocation is good business and allows an open market to prevail. And provide a fee structure to the county to maintain the records as these transfers take place. These amendments can open up new building lots, which can add to the housing availability in the county, a pressing need recognized by all. They can open up the ability for small businesses to be created, increasing the economy of the county. These are right for the citizens of the county. Please amend Section 8E for the benefit of the county. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comment, Barry?
300,000 gallons of Barry Waterman, Sparks Mill Road. 300,000 gallons, that's breathing room. It's not a lot of sewer. By the time you carve out the reservation for Marling Farms and Dominion and future unknown select commercial and institutional uses, there's only enough left for a couple hundred EDUs. As proposed, the allocation policy will remove commercial apartments from the commercial reservation on page 2 at 6B. I'd ask you to please take a hard look at that. Queen Anne's County has a well-documented lack of affordable and workforce housing. Commercial apartments staying in the commercial category will provide additional opportunity for apartment development whenever the sewer supply for residential units runs low, which will not be long from now. Section 9 of the recently adopted comp plan identifies key issues, the first two being affordable and workforce housing. The first goal of this section is to create a variety of housing types that are affordable to all incomes and all ages. And the second is to promote opportunities to increase housing affordability. The very first guiding principle of Section 9 is to promote an inventory of rental and for sale housing attainable to households with 60 to 120% of the county's median income. It's no secret that the affordability crisis across the nation is a result of underbuilding to keep up with our population. Our comp plan states this shortage of rental housing is the key cause of high rents. Doing anything that might add hurdles to the one housing type that can address those significant needs, I believe, would work against the sustainability of Queen Anne's County. I also had some comments on page 8 at E. I don't believe there's any reason to prevent private transfer of sewer allocation from one property to another. Charge whatever reasonable fee there is for the county to make account of where that is and who gave it up and who got it. Make whoever's going to use it pay whatever the costs are to extend the sewer. And if there's no cost to the county, where's the harm? Under the recapture section, particularly the involuntary relinquishment, I believe that you should add the written notice from the county to a property owner prior to forfeiture of their sewer allocation would be an appropriate addition. The current and proposed recapture provisions in our sewer allocation plans could be summed up as, you can give it back, but we're not giving you anything for it. So there's no incentive for an owner who may have excess sewer to return it to the county, other than a small reduction in their monthly fees. Given the limited amount of sewer that will be available to Queen Anne's County in the future, we should be looking to recapture every gallon that's not being used so it can be put to better use, where there would be jobs created, shelter created, tax revenues, et cetera. If the county were to say refund 50% of the current allocation fee, it may be that someone who has a couple extra 1,000 gallons they're not using would be willing to return it as opposed to just hold it in case they ever need it. The county would get to resell that allocation for 100% and make your money back and hopefully put that sewer to a more productive use. I'll just give you one quick example. We manage the property that Backyard Billy is in 15 years ago, for 10 or 15 years. It used to be a crab house, for those of you who can remember that far back. They had a sewer allocation of about 3,000 gallons a day. When Backyard Billy moved in, he was renting from them. He only needed 250 gallons a day. The owner never returned the excess sewer allocation. Now, he's since sold the property, and I don't know what's happened. But for 10 years, I do know that he maintained several thousand gallons of sewer allocation that he was never going to use because there was no incentive to return it. So you guys should create an incentive to recapture that sewer.
You want to email us with those, or you have something you can drop off for Margie?
Your comments.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any other comments with respect to the sewer and water allocation policy revision? All right, next is Chester Sewer and Water Maps. This housekeeping map amendment reflects the adoption of the county's 2022 comprehensive land use plan and the reduction in size of the Chester growth areas. All properties residing within tax map 57, all of parcel 39, large portion of parcel 43, lot 1 and lot 2, and parcel 68 would be mapped from S3W3 to S6W6. Any public comment with respect to that proposal? All right, Stephenville Sewer and Water Maps. This housekeeping amendment of the Bay City subdivision is to change the water and sewer service designation from S1W1 to S6W6 for several lots to reflect the owners of the lots opting out of the service area, opting out of sewer service due to severe environmental constraints when the subdivision was first served with sewer and water in 1994. All the properties are shown on tax map 56. Any public comment with respect to that amendment? All right, lastly, Kent Island Estates and Roman Coke Sewer Map. This housekeeping map amendment of the Kent Island Estate subdivision is to change sewer service designation from S1 to S6 for several lots to reflect the owners of the lot opting out of service due to severe environmental constraints when the property was first served with sewer in 2016. All the properties are shown on tax map 70. Any public comment with respect to that amendment? All right, Commissioners, that's everything.
All right, we'll close public hearing on the comprehensive water and sewer plan. Thank you, Alan.
Glad to be here, Commissioner.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Mr. Quimby. All right, moving on, Commissioners, also in tab number 7, our next public hearing is a public hearing for County Ordinance 23-08. This is for the ethics ordinance.
Ready? This is a public hearing being held July 11th, 2023. I'm sorry. On July 11th, 2023, Commissioner Moran introduced County Ordinance 2308, a bill entitled An Act Concerning Revisions to the Queen Anne's County Ethics Ordinance for the purpose of revising Chapter 8 of the Code of Public Local Laws, County Ethics Ordinance, to comply with the requirement that a county ethics ordinance contain provisions substantially similar to those in state law, Title V of the General Provisions Article of the Annotated Code. by amending sections 813 and 814 of the Code of Public Local Laws. This hearing is being held Tuesday, August 22nd, 2023 at 5:50 p.m. in the County Commissioners Meeting Room, Liberty Building, 107 North Liberty Street, Central Maryland. Copies of the ordinance have been available at the County Commissioner's Office or the Department of Planning and Zoning, or online at www.qac.org. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes each. Written testimony of any length could be submitted on before today's date to the County Commissioners. All hearing sites are accessible to individuals with disabilities. Sign language interpreters and assistive listening devices are available. For the record proceeding will be a certificate of publication indicating that notice of tonight's hearing was published for 3 consecutive weeks in the Baytime Record Observer. Any public comment with respect to County Ordinance 2308?
Pat, who did you have that introduced it? Who introduced this bill?
I did.
I know. Thanks, Pat.
The advertisement says Commissioner Moran.
Is that going to be an
The
issue?
bill says no.
No.
Bill
Okay.
says
There you go.
Commissioner Dumanel.
I didn't know where you were going with that.
There you go. And no comments? So we'll close County Ordinance 23-08 and hold it for 2 weeks before we vote. Keep it open. Move it on.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. Our next public hearing is public hearing on County Ordinance Number 23-05, Airport Protection and Kent Island Gateway.
Ready? July 25th, 2023, Commissioner Moran introduced County Ordinance 2305, a bill entitled An Act Concerning Revisions to the District Standards for the Airport Protection and Kent Island Gateway District in Queen Anne's County as part of the 2023 Comprehensive Zoning Code update. For the purpose of revising the district standards for the airport protection in Kent Island Gateway District in Queen Anne's County, revising the permitted uses in such district, providing that land uses in the APKIG shall comply with the Federal Aviation Administration and Maryland Aviation Administration requirements, revising the density and intensity requirements in such district, revising the dimensional and bulk requirements for such district, revising the provisions on on-site directional signs and design standards in such district, and generally revising and updating the district standards for the APKIG district in Queen Anne's County. The proposed ordinance received a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission at their July 13, 2023 meeting. The proposed ordinance would amend section 18.134 of the Code of Public Local Law. This hearing is being held Tuesday, August 22nd, 2023 at 6 p.m. in the County Commissioners Meeting Room, Liberty Building, 107 North Liberty Street, Central Maryland. Copies of the ordinance have been available at the County Commissioner's Office, Department of Planning and Zoning, and online on the county website. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes each. Written testimony of any length could be submitted on before the hearing date to the County Commissioners. All hearing sites are accessible to individuals with disabilities. Sign language interpreters and assistive listening systems are available. Part of the record of the proceeding will be a certificate of publication indicating that notice of the hearing was published 3 times in the Baytime Record Observer, newspapers of general circulation in Queen Anne's County, and the recommendations of the Queen Anne's County Planning Commission in the form of a memo dated July 25th, 2023. You have one to say?
I don't have much additional comments, just to indicate this is the first portion of the update of the zoning code, which you probably recall we already notified you about. But also just this is consistent with the comprehensive plan. It was outlined within the packet, and also the Planning Commission set a favorable recommendation.
Very good. Any questions?
Is there any public comment with request to County Ordinance 2305?
Very good. So we'll close this one for 2 weeks. I mean, we'll close the hearing, but we'll leave it open for 2 weeks. And vote in 2 weeks.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. Our next public hearing is public hearing on County Ordinance 2306, rezoning of 3 parcels in the Airport Protection and Kent Island Gateway District.
At their regular meeting on July 25th, 2023, Commissioner Moran introduced County Ordinance 2306, a bill entitled an act concerning the rezoning of 3 parcels of land in the 4th election district of Queen Anne's County as part of the 2023 Comprehensive Zoning Code update. For the purpose of rezoning parcels 301, 273, and 273 Lot 1 on tax map number 56 from urban commercial zoning district to Airport Protection and Kent Island Gateway District by amending the official zoning maps of Queen Anne's County. The proposed ordinance and the rezonings received a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission at their July 13, 2023 meeting. The ordinance would amend section 18134 of the Code of Public Local Laws. This hearing is being held on Tuesday, August 22nd, 2023 at 6:05 p.m. in the County Commissioners Meeting Room, Liberty Building, 107 North Liberty Street, Centerville. Copies of the proposed ordinance have been available at the County Commissioner's Office, Department of Planning and Zoning, and online on the county website. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. Written testimony of any length can be submitted on before the hearing to the county commissioners. All hearing sites are accessible to individuals with disabilities, sign language interpreters, and assistive listening systems are available. Part of the record of this proceeding will be a certificate of publication indicating that notice was published for 3 successive weeks in the Bay Times, Record Observer, newspapers of general circulation in Queen Anne's County, and the recommendations of the Queen Anne's County Planning Commission in the form of a memorandum dated July 25th, 2023.
Nothing additional, just that these 3 parcels are adjacent to the existing airport, Kent Island Gateway District.
Any public comment with request to the rezoning in ordinance 2306?
Very well. We'll close public hearing for County Ordinance 23-06, leave it open for 2 weeks, and vote then.
Stephanie. All right, thank you, Commissioners. That concludes all of our public hearings for this evening. We do have one final legislative item. If you want to turn to tab, or item number 5 in tab 7, this is County Ordinance 23-07, and this is available for adoption for the decision and findings of fact for 2307, which is for the growth allocation request petition for the armored storage project.
I move to adopt the decision and findings of fact as drafted regarding the growth allocation petition submitted by Nashville Properties LLC to reclassify 2.811 acres of limited development area to an essentially development area.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, so we've got a lot of different emails that come in on this project and comments on it. And I think a point needs to be clarified about this. So the applicant has followed the process for this. You can have a legitimate viewpoint on either side of the way it's supposed to come out, right? But this is the process for revising the critical area, and the applicant has followed that. This is not some sort of loophole or something like that that's being done here. Some people, I think, sort of are misconception about this. So I just wanted to clarify that because this has been done the right way, and there's been lots of opportunities for public hearing on this. This is how the critical area law is set up, right? They did this overlay map, and they said, here's all there is a critical area, but we know that there's going to be things that have to be varied from that, and here's the process for varying it. And different counties have different additional requirements that they put on it, and whether or not Queen Anne's County should follow something that another county does, that's a fine discussion for a future policy change. But I think the idea of like, well, this county does like this, so therefore you should do that. That's not the law here. And the law here, they followed it. Like I said, policy-wise, you could agree with it or disagree with it, but the applicant has followed exactly what they're supposed to do. That, and the Critical Area Commission approved it. The commissioners put some restrictions on it. The Critical Area put some restrictions on it, and they've agreed to go forward with that. So this is how the process works. This is how the law works.
Any other discussion? Well, I think what we're going to do on this one, and any future votes that are contentious, we're just going to vote by district. So we'll start with District 1, Patrick.
Aye.
District 2? I'm sorry. You made me do that. I'm sorry.
But I concur, aye.
All right, 2 ayes. District 3?
Aye.
District 4?
No.
And the chair will vote yes, so 4-1.
You also want to make sure you make a motion on the findings and decision document that's in that as well. There was if you look on the memo, it has 2 motions to
We just
be made.
did. That was one I just
You
made.
included both of them?
I just did that one.
The
on
memo,
findings.
okay.
The next one will be
Just
on the ordinance
The-
itself,
okay.
2703.
All right.
I move to adopt County Ordinance 2307 to reclassify 2.811 acres of limited development area to intensely development area for the growth allocation petition of Nashville Properties LLC.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second on this. Any discussion on this? Seeing none, we'll get this one right.
Aye.
District 1, District 2. District 3.
Aye.
District 4.
No.
And yes, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Thank you, Stephanie. All right, Commissioners, that concludes all of the legislative items for this evening. If we can move into new business action items. So if you want to flip back to tab 3, the binders are on your laptops. Action item number 1 on pages 1 through 28 is a proposal we received from the agent for Chesterhaven Beach LLC. This is involving the request for reconsideration to include the Chesterhaven Beach property in the Chester growth area.
Which has been pulled.
Yes.
What, motion to table? Table?
So we're going to table it.
Table this, all right. All right, that'll be tabled for a future discussion, future meeting. Moving along, item number 2 on pages 29 through 32. This is a memo from George Harvey to replace the Queen Anne County Television's shared production storage server. And George dressed up for us this evening, so George, why don't you come on up here? Come on. Current server for our television station is 9 years old, has limited support, and this is a purchase request to upgrade our existing network up to 10 gigabytes with media assist asset management for a total cost of $52,697, and we do have adequate funding in our capital equipment budget for that purchase.
So this upgrade improves what?
The server that we have is like 9 years old, so it's,
Sorry, I'm going to make the motion. I'm sorry. I move that we approve the recommendation of Queen Anne's County Television staff to replace and upgrade their aging server by purchasing a shared storage server from Studio Network Solutions for $52,697.
Second.
There you go.
the server that we have is 9, 10 years old, so it's bound to start wearing out. You know, we could lose drives on it. It's a RAID storage server. There's no way to upgrade that one. But this new server also has a media asset management system, which will allow us to store and browse and find all the different B-roll and clips that we shoot so we can work faster. It's also going from a 1 gig connection to a 10 gig connection, so it allows us to edit faster as far as transferring. It's the only way it works directly in the editing software that we use, Final Cut Pro. So the media asset management system allows us to find something like the Waterman's Monument or something, so we don't have to dig through everything. We just find it, pull it up in the software, drag it on the timeline. Allows us to work faster, and it's, also, the current server that we have is about $5,600 a year for maintenance contract on it. So the maintenance contract's gonna be less on this, in addition to that.
So it will allow you to improve almost on perfection already. So you guys are going to be able to do more, the quality of what you guys are putting together, the speed of what you're putting together for our
Work faster.
citizens.
He won't need Bruce anymore, is what he said. 'Cause it'll be easier.
Wow. Right, Jim?
You know, that's most of it. I mean, the other one's bound to fail on us soon, so it's time.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, this is a move that we approve the recommendation of QACTV staff to replace and upgrade their aging server by purchasing a shared storage server from Studio Network Solutions for $52,697. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Commissioners. And I want to acknowledge, QACTV 7's admirable work. I mean, we get a lot of accolades from other jurisdictions on the high quality of our productions and their work here in Queen Anne's County. So a great team you have. Thank you very much, George. All right, Commissioners, it's that time of year again. The next three items are nuisance violations. So item number 3 on pages 33 through 38 is a property lien for a nuisance violation for high unmanaged vegetation on a property at 1118 Price Station Road.
It's your district.
My neighbor.
Your neighbor?
One of.
Oh, goodness.
I move to approve the I don't know if I want to go home tonight if I do this. I approve the resolution to place lien on property located at 1118 Price Station Road, Price, Maryland, in the amount of $400.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved.
Thank you, Commissioners. Item 4 on pages 39 through 45 is property lien for nuisance violation, again, unmanaged high vegetation at 1009 Bayside Drive in Stevensville.
I move to approve the resolution to place a lien on the property located at 1009 Bayside Drive, Stevensville, in the amount of $220.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Yeah.
No? Excuse me, go ahead.
I appreciate the pictures that was provided, and I'd like for all of these to have pictures.
It should.
Yeah. They should, yeah.
I'm saying, I'm complimenting them.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved.
Thank you, Commissioners. Item 5 on pages 46 through 52 is property lien, again, nuisance violation for unmanaged high vegetation at 135 Mainsail Drive in Stevensville.
I'll relieve my associate here. I move that we approve the resolution to place a lien on the property located at 135 Mainsail Drive in Stevensville, Maryland, 21666, in the amount of $260.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. Moving on, item number 6 from our Human Resources Department are some updates to some standard operating policies on pages 53 through 101, including updates to emergency action plan, educational assistance plan, employee recognition, meals and breaks, violence in the workplace, and a revision to the employee handbook to include the county dress code.
I move that the emergency action plan, educational assistance, employee recognition, information technology, meal and work break, and violence in the workplace policies and the employee handbook revisions be adopted as presented and to be effective in 7 business days.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Thank you, Commissioners. Item number 7 on pages 102 through 109 is a welcome letter request from Concours d'Elegance, and this is a prestigious automobile show that's going to be held here in Queen Anne's County on September 24th at the Kent Island Yacht Club. They have rare and classic automobiles and draw visitors from all around the world. And they are asking us for a welcome letter from the commissioners that they can place in their brochure.
I move to execute the welcome letter for the Concourse de Eclipse Automobile Show to be held at Kent Island Yacht Club.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved.
Thank you, Commissioners. Our next item is the Citizens Scrap Tire Drop-Off Day event scheduled for September 30th, 2023. This is via the Maryland Environmental Service Intergovernmental Agreement. It outlines our participation in the event. We get up to 99 tons for citizen scrap tires to be dropped off at the event, or up to $29,900. And before we move on that, I think we need to convene as the Sanitary Commission to make a motion on this one.
Motion to convene as sanitary.
Second.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So this is a very popular event, I will say.
I move to execute the Citizens Scrap Tire Drop-Off Day Agreement.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. We'll certainly advertise that heavily, and they are going to help us with, MES will help us with advertising for that event. So again, it's September 30th at the Centerville Transfer Station.
Which is 401 Harper Road in Centerville.
Thank you, Commissioner. Okay, item number 9 on pages 122 through 125 is the Bats Neck Park Inline Hockey Rink refurbishment. Mr. Director, can I get a motion on that, please?
I move to authorize the Department of Parks and Recreation to contract with ATC Corps to replace paved color, coat, and stripe the inline hockey rink at Bats Neck Park in the amount of $145,450, utilizing the National Cooperative Purchasing Alliance contract number 08-18.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments, questions?
Anything you want to share with us that's not in the paper?
This is actually phase one of it. Getting this done, our next step would then be replacing the boards, and then that would complete the whole project. We met with a contractor who does the boards about 2 weeks ago. It's a company from Minnesota, surprisingly. The regional director came out, visited on site, took measurements. They also are with the cooperative purchasing agreement as well. We're hoping to get a price back in the next week or so, be able to come forward to you guys and, get acceptance on that. And they're actually available to do the work in October, November. So once we do the paving, we're going to remove the boards. The structures, the aluminum structures are secure. They're fine. They pass the inspection based on the representative's assessment of it. They'll come out and install everything, and we'll be ready to open up.
Christmas gift?
With any luck.
Well done.
Any more questions? All right, we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. Item number 10 on page 126 is Budget Amendment CC 13. This budget amendment establishes additional budget authority for the Fire Chief FEC's small equipment purchases in the amount of $115,768 to be used to cover the cost of 160 pagers from Magnum Electronics, and funding is available from our ARPA grant that is currently available.
Move to approve Budget Amendment CC 13.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Thank you, Commissioners. Our last item, excuse me, is our desk item, and this is a draft letter to the MDOT Secretary, Paul Wiedefeld, in support of establishing a program here on the Eastern Shore in Queen Anne's County to develop a comprehensive and implement a comprehensive ramp management with access controls approaching the Bay Bridge, similar to what has been done in Anne Arundel County.
I move to execute the US 5301 Ramp Management and Access Control Pilot Project Letter to Maryland Department of Transportation Secretary Paul Wheelfield.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved.
All right, Commissioners, that is all of the action items we have for this evening. We can move into press and public comments. Nobody signed up?
Would anybody like to speak? Alrighty. Bruce, you have anybody? Nobody. Wow.
Okay,
All right, so we'll close the press and public comment.
okay. Got roundtable?
We'll go to roundtable, and we'll go, Chris, you're first.
All right, well, I'm sure others will talk about this, but we had Maryland Association of Counties summer meeting last week. We got a fly that's somewhere in here. It keeps going around me here. I won't steal Jim's thunder on our meeting with the,
No, you can go ahead.
yeah?
Yeah.
Well, we met with
Outbreak
the
style.
Secretary of Transportation as well as all the other sort of transportation agencies. We have this annual meeting with them where we go over the list of what we want, our wish list, and bridge traffic is something that we talk about with them as well. Jim has been working really hard on trying to get our pilot program up and running so we can try to get some mitigation of the traffic on the side state roads on Kent Island. And they have, I think it's fair, they had some hesitation, I think, is how they expressed it. They had feedback in the past with businesses being concerned about closing exits, and that's still a concern of theirs. I think some of those businesses that previously were concerned are now more leaning in favor of doing the pilot program because they're seeing the impact as the traffic gets worse and worse. But one of the things that we have consistently driven home with them is that this is a through traffic problem. This is the traffic from outside Queen Anne's County that is causing our traffic backups. It is not the people in Queen Anne's County. And if you're in March, I can get to my parents' house in Graysonville in 15 minutes, back and forth, no problem, right? Summertime, that's not the case. And it's not just that all the residents of Queen Anne's County decide to drive in the summer, right? Like, it is the through traffic that is causing our problem. And it's important that we stay focused on that because the cost to remedy the problem is the cost that the state has to bear, right? This is not something that the county can do. We don't have a budget or resources. It is a state issue, and so we have to keep the pressure on. It's a state issue. The state has to address it for us, and we need buy-in from them, and that's, you would think it's as easy. I hear people say the commissioner should do something. We don't have the power to just wave a wand and close off all the roads. If we could, we would be doing a lot more. So we have to consistently put that pressure on the state. And Jim has been leading the charge on that for a very long time. And I know it doesn't feel like it, but we've made progress on some things. But yes, there is still a whole lot to do. And so to all the residents, we understand the frustration. We sit in the traffic as well. It interferes with our ability to get around on the weekends as well. I live on Kent Island, so I'm stuck at home a lot of those weekends as well. I won't take any more from you, Jim, because I know you probably have a little bit more to say on it, but we do hear you. We are working on it. It is a problem. There's short-term and long-term mitigation, right? This is how I look at this problem. And we had for decades people kicking the can down on addressing the long-term solution of how do you get the cars through Queen Anne's County quickly, right? That still needs to be a focus, and I know people don't want to hear about another bridge or a new crossing. We can continue to ignore the volume issue and not have problems, and will continue to get worse. It is just a fact of life. So we have to get those cars on the other shore as quickly as possible, and that's going to take major infrastructure to do it, and that's going to take the state. The largest probably public works project they've ever seen when that happens. But that is a fact, and people say, we don't want to hear about that crossing anymore. People ignored it for long enough. That's why we have the problem that we have now. And you can't kick the can down the road. Short term, yes, we need to figure out ways to get the state's buy-in on closing down some ramps during peak times so we can minimize the traffic that goes on the side roads. We need to get the state to invest in other improvements to our local infrastructure so that people can get back and forth over 50 without touching 50. Those are also things we're working at, but it is a two-prong attack. That's it.
Thank you. Commissioner Duman.
So obviously, as Chris mentioned, we attended MACO, and there was plenty of sessions that we were able to sit in to educate ourselves on the issues that are currently dealing with and issues that we're going to be dealing with in the future. Obviously, cannabis was one of those issues. But on a more positive note, I had an opportunity to have breakfast with the new teachers that will be coming to our school system. And I'm happy to share the fact with everybody that we have 60 new teachers that will be joining our school system. Some are new to the profession, some are been teachers for 6-7 years in other jurisdictions, and we have poached them from other school districts. So very, very exciting. There's still some slots that we need to fill at our schools, but certainly good news that we have this many new teachers coming.
Very good. Patrick?
I'm good.
You're good? Chad?
Just real quick, the Verizon issue that everybody's been experiencing today, we got an update on that. It is 3 cut fiber lines in the Queenstown area. They will, hoping to have them repaired by midnight tonight, so that should get service restored. We have no disruption right now with 911, luckily, but I know a lot of people are having issues with cell phones and other issues with landlines and things like that. Also, I was able to attend the Everside ribbon cutting today, which is I think it's going to be the prototype for what rural co-op healthcare looks like in the future for primary care. Really nice facility right out here by the 7-Eleven, and I think we're going to be seeing more of these pop up throughout the state, other counties. It's a way to pool your resources together monetarily from different industries and things like that, and provide basically siloed healthcare for the individuals that are within those industries. It's a great idea, and it's definitely going to help us here in Queen Anne's. I mean, just in the last year, we've made a lot of strides. We've opened 2 urgent cares, and now we have this facility. So,
Very good. All right, well, I'm going to start a little bit in reverse. Today I had the pleasure of being invited by Jen and the staff of the Upper Y School for a little tour through there, and the 58 students, and they do a great job there. It's almost like being homeschooled. I mean, it's a nice atmosphere, and I wish them the best of luck. This morning we went to the, Commissioner Dumanel and County Administrator Todd Mon went to the County Narrows Development Foundation to talk about the traffic plan. And basically, I'm not going to bore everybody with this, but we had a traffic plan in 2019. The state had for about 6 weeks, and then came back and said no. Now, I think things progressively get worse, and they know there's no solution except for more capacity on the bridge. So now they're saying yes, but they're saying yes in segments. I mean, again, I've said this over and over again. Anne Arundel County had 2.5 miles to Cape St. Clair exit to the Bay Bridge and 3 ramps. We've got 9.5 miles to the 5301 split and 15 ramps. So I think that the Secretary Pine said if they were to put the message boards up just for our side of the bridge, it would consume every message board the state has. It's just that many that you have to say no access to Route 50, no access to the Bay Bridge, no access to 18, just up and down. And so that's what's holding us up. We were hoping to have that by this weekend. Now it's looking like probably somewhere around the 2nd or 3rd weekend in September that we're going to start this, and it's only going to start with the first 3 ramps from the bridge working your way back. So if you want to see what it's all about, come tomorrow morning to the Economic Development Commission meeting at the library at 9 a.m. We have a PowerPoint. I'm going to go through that one more time tomorrow morning. We went through it today at the Kent Narrows Development Foundation, and we're going to be doing it again tomorrow just to brief our businesses on what's coming. Because like I said, all this isn't going to happen this year. We'll probably take it in bites. What we do this year, hopefully next year will be a permanent. adding more as we go further away from the bridge, because that's how the traffic's going to continue to grow.
Jim, can we do it here, the next commissioner meeting? Show the PowerPoint here?
Sure, yeah, we can definitely do that. The other thing I want to talk about was at Mako. I went and sat in on electrifying, I can't remember the name of the title, electrification of Maryland, whatever it is, and it was Karpinski and Kumar, and I'm sorry if I can't remember.
Paul Pinsky and Kumar Barbie.
Thank you. Well, they're no longer there. They're now leading this commission. And the room was pretty full, but there was only 3 elected people in the room, which is kind of alarming to me. A lot of it was apparently people that work in the business of wind, renewable energy, and solar, and they're all chomping at the bit to get going. And, they talked about the Eastern Shore. I was surprised that they brought it up. They talked about the Eastern Shore, and I think Mr. Pinsky had it wrong. He said they were looking to take 7,000 to 12,000 acres from the midshore. Then he specifically said the midshore. I think they're going to take more. So I'm going to do a little research on that to find that. And they know they're going to face a fight, and they're going to go under. I can't remember the term they use, but basically it's for the good of all. So I think that's alarming. They flat out said land costs too much in Montgomery and Prince George's County. Let's bring it to the shore. But they did mention some sort of compensation. We just don't know what. So I think we'll keep our eyes open for that. And with that, I guess I'll take a motion to.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Thank you.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
There we go.